Welcome, everybody, to the Let's Go Crunch podcast here on 95.9 WOVU. I am Ethan Greenberg, and alongside of me is Gary Fair. Thank you all for joining us. We are going to be your go-to place talking Cleveland Crunch soccer excitement, as the Cleveland Crunch will be back in action for the 2025-2026 season. And this season, they will be returning to downtown Cleveland to the Wolstein Center, or as some of you know, formerly the Cleveland State University Convocation Center, where the Cleveland Crunch, in a former iteration, handed us a couple of championships. That was a great place to be, and it's going to be the place to be this season. So this morning today we've got a very exciting guest. We have along with us Ryan Ruiz. He is a co-owner. He is a director of sales for the Cleveland Crunch. And welcome into the show, Ryan. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Ethan and Gary. It's we're very excited about you guys doing this. You guys do a phenomenal job with the Bearded Browns podcast. So very excited, and we appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. We do appreciate that. As I mentioned in the open, the Cleveland Crunch are going to return to downtown Cleveland. Yeah. They will be playing at the Wolstein Center. How exciting is that for the Cleveland Crunch to return downtown to their former glory years?
So exciting. I mean, these guys deserve it so much. We as an organization deserve it. The fans deserve it. The thing about it is that you have so much time and effort that goes into putting this together. And this wasn't just, 6 months ago, we had the finals, we hosted the finals with the league. This wasn't a 6-month conversation. This has been an ongoing conversation for the last 2 years. And you know what? I'm a believer in getting things done, and so is our organization, and that's what we did. We got it done, and we will be back at the Wolstein Center. The Crunch previously at the Wolstein or at the Convocation Center brought 3 championships, and we want to do the same. We're already at 2, and it just didn't happen last year, but we're excited for the Wolstein Center.
You know, I'm a big fan of kind of like the behind the scenes, how some of these things happen. Can you talk to us a little bit about how this actually happens? This is really cool. You know, you guys, when you guys came back a couple years ago, I mean, you're talking, it started at the IX Center, and you guys kind of, you guys played a couple different places, and now you are back at the Mecca of soccer here in Cleveland, Ohio. You're at the Wolstein Center. Can you talk to us about, the what's the word here? With the origination of, like, you guys come back, you're playing at all these different venues, and now you're back at the Wolstein Center. How did this happen?
Yeah, it's a great question. With the Crunch, I joined in season 2 of being back, and this is now season 6. This is our 6th season back, and we're grateful to the North Olmsted Soccer Sportsplex was where we played most of our home games. And then, like you said, a few years ago, we did have the IX Center for the first 2 home games. For reasons that we won't talk about, that did not come into fruition as far as staying at the IX Center. But I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. And when you work hard and you put your head down and you go to work and you wear your heart on your sleeve, you get things done. So, to answer your question, just multiple conversations with the Wolstein Center. A lot of things had to happen. I mean, the charge moving out of the Wolstein Center was a big piece of the puzzle, because when you have Cleveland State basketball, both men and women's, and you have the charge there, and you play in that same time frame, your scheduling is very hard to mix in with that. And now that the Charge are at the
Public Hall,
the Public Hall, thank you. Now that the Charge are at Public Hall, we had an opportunity in multiple meetings and over the years, and we've made this happen. So very grateful to the previous venues. However, and we sold out those previous venues, and now it's time to step up and put 5,000 plus in the stands this season.
Yeah, the Cleveland soccer has been great throughout the years, all the way dating back to when indoor soccer was first introduced in Cleveland, back at the Richfield Coliseum, the Cleveland Force. Just amazing experience there as I think about the players I watched there.
Just gave me goosebumps, man.
I know.
Yeah, you know, you're talking about Kai Hoskeby, Carl Valentine, Dennis Mepham, guys like Keith Murphy and Craig Allen. So many amazing players and memories there. And then eventually, when the team they changed leagues, they changed names. They went from the Force to the Crunch. Then they come to downtown Cleveland in the Wolstein Center, and you had the players like Zoran Karic and Hector Marinero leading the way, the dynamic duo, amongst others, Otto Orff, and many other names. You know, those are just a few off the top of my head, leading the way for Cleveland as they were able to capture a few crowns, as you said. And I recall being there for the championship game. Such a wonderful venue and so much excitement in downtown Cleveland, even before, you know, I mean, at that time, right around that whole time frame is when the Browns, they leave town, and the Cavs, that was before they really they were coming off the end of an era that saw them get close, but oh so far away due to one Michael Jordan. The Cleveland Crunch was right there, and it was amazing. I was glad to be a part of it. How is it, or will the Wolstein Center kind of compare? It's got to be top class compared to even the rest of the league. And what are you thinking about in terms of, or hoping for in terms of numbers? I know you said 4,000 to 5,000. How's the season ticket sales, and what are we looking at?
Excellent. Yeah. So season ticket sales are going really well. They went on sale about 3 weeks ago. Single game tickets are also on sale now. I truly believe with the right marketing and everything that we're doing, that we will put 3,000 to 5,000 fans in the stands. I mean, the opener is January 10th. There's been so much excitement around that with the Mustangs coming to town, Chicago. So just the fact that we're able to open up Crunch Soccer to more fans, because when we were at the Sportsplex, you know, you can only put 700-800 people out in that building, and we makeshifted it into our own arena and sold it out every game. So now with that opportunity, that lower bowl seats 5,000 at the Wolstein Center, and I see it. I mean, I saw it during the finals. Going back to what you were saying though, Ethan, I'll tell you guys a quick story. You know, we're at the finals and we're co-hosting that with the league. So this was not a Cleveland Crunch event. It was co-hosted with the league. The league picks a city every season,
Right.
and they have it. Like the previous year, it was in Omaha where we won a championship, and the previous year before that was in Chicago. And I remember working down on the field and just doing all the little things that you have to do to get the field ready. And I remember sitting in that north goal. I was down there working on something, and I'm like, this is where Hector Marinero scored the double overtime goal. I'm standing right here, and it was such a surreal moment for me, because you guys talk about the Richfield Coliseum and you talk about the Convocation Center. I was there too. I'm 44, and my father had season tickets to the Richfield Coliseum, and I remember Darth Vader coming out of the tunnel, and I remember Kai Hoskeby, and I remember Benny Dargle, and even back then Hector was on the Force, and he was a rookie, but he was on the Force, and I remember Craig Allen and Timo Liakowski was our coach, and that was what we wanted to bring back with Crunch Soccer, was those memories, and kind of blend the past with the present and also create our own brand. And I feel like we've done that. And if you come to a Crunch game, you're going to get that intimate atmosphere, and you're going to get those memories that you can create with your family. And it's just something special. It's something that's so much different than any other professional sports team in Cleveland because we really embrace the fans and we really embrace the atmosphere. Our games are a party. We say not a party. It's not a game. It's a party because we want that, and we believe that we have the product too, and it definitely helps when you win. We all know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm carrying on here, but we're 28-2 at home since coming back in the regular season, obviously not counting the playoffs last season.
And you talk about the history of, the crunch in the Force, and people who didn't live it don't remember, but people who did absolutely do. So I'm 45 years old, and in the 80s and in the 90s, I mean, this was a soccer town. It wasn't the Cavs. It wasn't the Indians. It was the Force in the crunch. When I was a kid, the pendants up in the bedrooms of me and all my friends, it was the Force. It was, if you go back and you look on YouTube, you can find videos of the Richfield Coliseum, specifically the 84-85 season in the playoffs. There's 23,000 people at the Richfield Coliseum for the playoffs. There was not 23,000 people down there for the Cavs. You know what I mean? Maybe you got 23,000 for Journey, or you know what I mean? Once in a while you got 23,000 down there for a concert down, in Richfield, Ohio. But for the Force, that was a regular thing down there. And, it was every time the Force played, and then the crunch, down in Richfield, it was a happening. Same thing at the Wolstein Center, which is, which we're back at, which is why it's so cool to, have it, to be back there. So it's really cool that you guys have brought this opportunity back to the city of Cleveland, because there are generations that never got to experience this happening. And now, I have nieces and nephews. I have family that, I've only told stories about. I've told stories about Cuyahoga and, now they get to experience their own version of it. And that is what is so cool about this. And there's a whole generation now that I get to even, I forgot the whole story of what I know. I never liked Star Wars, but I forgot why I hated Star Wars. And now I'm reliving why I hate Star Wars. And it's because they sued us to get rid of the Force name because of Darth Vader, And there was a time in Cleveland where every kid in school hated Star Wars.
Yeah.
In the 80s. You know what I mean? It was a real thing. It was Star Wars. Star Wars was lame in Northeast Ohio in the 80s. And that's a whole part of Cleveland culture that nobody even really knows about. And that's all around indoor soccer.
Yeah, I'm definitely showing my age here. You and I are the same, Gary. And, I used to take my old Kenner Star Wars toys, the figures, and I would play soccer with them, because that I had that Star Wars and Force, tie in to each other. And yeah, you're right. George Lucas ended up suing suing the Force, and they had to get rid of the whole Darth Vader thing. But I remember it very clearly, that atmosphere and how cool that was, him coming out with a lightsaber, and it was something special. And I think, to build on what you're saying too, is you have that fan base that remembers that stuff and remembers and has those memories. But then there's also this new fan base that the new generation of Crunch fans and the kids, they embrace our team very much. And I think that's just going to continue to blend as we move forward in the season to the Wolstein Center.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Northeast Ohio, just in indoor soccer, I'm in the same age bracket. I'm 46. I grew up down in Canton and watching the Canton Invaders and the amazing presentation and fun that it was down there. So talking here about the Crunch returning to downtown this season, and I thought it would be a good moment here, and maybe let's reflect a little bit on last season just for a brief moment. So let us now. I know that's a tough spot here, but I think that you take those things and you grow from it. So let's take a moment here. And next up, we are going to talk about how things ended up going last season in the playoffs.
So we finished this season 11-1. Won the regular in soccer. You have a regular season champion. We were regular season champions. Made it to the playoffs. We played in the semifinals against Chicago POW.
Yep.
We smoked them.
And
we earned and we POW'd them, and we punched our ticket to the finals against Amarillo. And the Amarillo Bombers are out of Texas. They're a very good team. And we had, I think, throughout the weekend, almost over 6,000 fans show up. And they saw a phenomenal championship. They saw a great game. And unfortunately, we did not get it done. We lost in overtime to Amarillo, and it would have been really, really special for our organization, myself, our players, and our fans to win a championship down there in front of everybody. But it just it wasn't meant to be. And I'm also a believer. We are a believer in this organization. Is we cannot look in the rearview mirror. We know what we're capable of. We know that, just like any sport, that this game is a game of inches. And if a couple of inches would have went our way, if a couple of calls would have went our way, if a couple of calls wouldn't have went our way, maybe the result would have been different. But I don't have a DeLorean that I can jump in and turn back the clock. And we just have to move forward. And we have a great group of guys, a core group of guys. We will be announcing the roster soon. I will have that to you guys. And we just want to, it's almost like you have to let that marinate and then understand that that's your fuel for going forward. Now, the other thing to that is you can say, okay, we do win the championship in Omaha. Well, guess who had a target on their back all last season? That was us. Now you have that pressure of not having that target on your back, and you just play free. And that's what we want to accomplish on December 6th, is just starting off the season playing free. We want to use that fuel, use that marination to fuel what we want to do this season. And this season, the playoffs are in Las Vegas, and we want to punch our ticket to Las Vegas and play at the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. And that could be very special too. But Crunch Soccer, like our voice of the Crunch, Kevin Arnold, always says, is one quarter, one game at a time, and we go on to the next one.
Yeah, and you guys are very lucky to be represented well by Kevin Arnold. I know him personally. He is a huge soccer aficionado, and despite the fact that we do root for differing teams in the English Premier League, we won't get into all that. But again, I like the way that you recapped kind of what happened last year and how close it was. And I mean, for the Crunch, if I recall correctly, and please correct me on this, we were shorthanded. One of our best players was not. Am I correct in recalling that Admir Sujovic?
Yeah, Admir Sujovic, league MVP.
Right.
Won it 2 years in a row now. We lost Admir and Kevin Blackwood in the previous championship, and then we lost Admir for half of the game in April. So, phenomenal player. Just hit the 100-goal mark for us last season.
Right.
100 total Cleveland Crunch goals. And again, I hate to use this this analogy or what everybody always says with Cleveland sports, but it is next man up with us. And that is one of the beauty of Luciano and our group, Lucci being a big part of the general manager part, and with Coach Antonio Manfoot, is that we stack our team. I mean, there are teams that would love to have some of our second and third line players as their starters. I mean, we have a goalkeeper in Liam McIntosh that I believe could start on any team in this league, and he is our backup to Mario Musa. So It is always next man up. We did miss Admir for the championship, but we overcame that the previous year in Omaha. So it's just it's next man up for us, and we believe in our group of players, and we have the utmost confidence in our whole crew.
Yeah, the whole structure is there, and it is a next man up mentality. And again, like you said, you hate to say that mantra in Cleveland. There's always next year. Well, there is. You have to have hope. If you don't have hope, then what do you have? And I think that you are framing this in exactly the right way, as the Crunch will get ready to get things underway on December the 6th. And with that in mind, now let's go forward. Let us turn the page here and look to next season, or this season, I should say. The Cleveland Crunch, for those of you who don't know, they play a 12 game regular season, 6 home games, 6 road games, and they will kick the season off on Saturday, December the 6th, taking on Red Cedar FC out of Lansing, Michigan. They go to Fort Wayne on December the 20th. The home opener is on January the 10th at 7 o'clock. The Crunch hosts the Chicago Mustangs. So why don't you talk to us, maybe, Ryan, about the upcoming season, the schedule, the challenges, what your kind of outlook is, what the team's outlook is with the competition around the league.
Yeah, absolutely. It's awesome that we're a part of Major League Indoor Soccer that has now grown to 13 teams. Having a North and a South conference too. Conferences are great. So we won't get the Amarillo Bombers in the regular season, but I can assure you that our players want to see them again in the future. As far as opening, yeah, we open December 6th, and we will be traveling to Lansing, Michigan, to their arena, and they actually have looked pretty good in their first game, and played very, very well. So they look like an improved team. The competition in this league is definitely closing as far as the athleticism, the gap, and I feel like it's exactly what I just said. Though is we need to have that mentality, one quarter, one game at a time, take care of business on the road. And then the thing about our season is we have our first 2 games on the road. So we'll go to Michigan, and then we will go to Indiana, I believe.
Yes, Fort Wayne. Now,
Yeah.
where does the Summit City Sentinels in Fort Wayne? I didn't look. I apologize. Where are they playing? At the the Fort Wayne Memorial Coliseum, the War Arena? That I was just talking before the show about going to Fort Wayne to cover a hockey team from Richmond, and going to the Fort Wayne, I believe it was the Fort Wayne Coliseum, and how beautiful of a building that is out there in the middle of nowhere in Fort Wayne.
Yeah, no, Fort Wayne plays, let's see, they play at the Toka Soccer and Sports Center in Novi.
Okay. Well, the bus driver, as long as the people know how to get there, that's the important thing. It really doesn't matter other than that, I'd say.
Yeah, and that, and you know what? I apologize. That was Lansing. Fort Wayne is at the Classic City Center.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, Novi is the Michigan game. Fort Wayne is at Classic City Center. I should have known that. I apologize.
No apologies necessary here. Like I said, as long as the people who transport the team there know where they're going, that's the important piece right there.
Yes, big shout out to our sponsor for the last 6 seasons now, AmeriCab. They take our players in their vans to all of our road games, including Omaha in the previous season where we won the championship. AmeriCab was all part of that.
That must have been a fun trip home.
That was a fun trip home. The trophy did not fit in the van, so we had to bring the trophy back on the plane, which was cool.
That is amazing. I was fortunate enough to get to see the trophy, and I believe I was right there with it at the ESPN Cleveland block party a couple of seasons ago. So that was really a treat there. What can fans expect at the CSU, at the Wolstein Center for the in-game experience and different things you have coming up this season? And again, single game tickets are on sale.
Yeah, so you're going to be able to expect a ton more than what you saw at the North Olmsted Soccer Sportsplex. I was a big contributor in game day operations, still am, and feeding off of the things that I knew from the past, the Darth Vader entrances, the lights going out, the music, everything. That's what you're going to get times 10 now at the Wolstein Center. I mean, we're a big believer in our introductions and in that fan experience, all that stuff. We are a huge believer in our color guard and showing our color guard and presenting the national anthem the way it's supposed to be. And all of that stuff ties into youth. It ties into how can we incorporate youth groups and youth soccer into this. So players are always on the field with the kids in the beginning, and the kids soccer clubs will stand for the national anthem. So just the pregame stuff, that's what you can expect. We have partnered up. We have done a phenomenal job. Our whole team has done a phenomenal job with sponsorships and partners this season. And you're going to see a lot of in-game fan activations. Now that we have a concourse, there's going to be stuff on the concourse. We have teamed up with the Ohio Media School, which are sending 8 to 10 interns per game that we are excited to work with, that they're going to be helping with activations. If you've been to a Crunch game, whether it be at the Sportsplex or the IX Center, you know that we score goals, and we score a lot of them. We average 14 goals a game. I think in our time back, we're at like 12 goals a game. And every time a goal is scored, balls get thrown out to the fans. That's a big one for me. So WOBL is a big sponsor of those balls being thrown out. So we plan on doing sign making in the concourse. We plan on having all kinds of vendors in the concourse giving away stuff. And, we have teamed up with Duncan Toys, and Duncan Toys is going to be doing a huge halftime thing that we're excited to announce. We're not going to announce it yet, but that's going to be something that's going to be a fan activation. So again, it's all about the environment and creating those memories for those fans. And it's just going to be an exciting year. We have a lot of giveaways that we're going to be doing. I don't want to announce those yet, but based off of last season, we learned how upset that the Cleveland Crunch fans were during the championship. So we have an awesome giveaway on the home opener, and I think fans are really going to like it. And it's going to be pretty cool, and it's going to be something that they will be able to use throughout the season. So I will just tease that. We're working on all kinds of other things and appearances by people, and there's so much excitement for this home season at the Wolstein Center that we will be announcing very soon. All kinds of promotional nights. There's going to be some surprises that you're going to see. I just know offhand, he was on The Voice, but Hayden Grove is going to be doing a national anthem singing for Fan Appreciation Weekend. So excited about Fan Appreciation Weekend too. That's March 14th and 15th. So that is a Saturday and a Sunday matinee, and we're very pumped about that. Again, you won't leave a Crunch game empty-handed. I go out of my way to make sure that fans meet the players, fans get pictures with the players, if fans want pictures with our staff, whatever we have to do to make this a memorable experience for you, that's what we believe in.
So once these games are sold out, because we know that they're going to be, I saw that you did sign a TV deal this year for the home games.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and the availability of those games for folks to watch once these games are sold out?
Yeah. So we were fortunate enough to partner with Rock Sports Entertainment this season. And Rock Sports is going to be broadcasting all of our games. And the beauty about Rock Sports is that they're on Spectrum, and you can go on their website, you can pull up links. Now, on top of that, Rock Sports will have our games. That is coming from LPV Productions and Peter Tellup and his great crew. They've been with us for 5 seasons now, and they do a phenomenal job with the broadcast. Kevin Arnold, Gianluca DiGiacomo, and Munch Bishop, the original voice of the Crunch, will also be on with Kevin for the opener. So Rock Sports Entertainment will have our games. That's coming from LPV Productions and Peter's crew. And then we will also have it on our Cleveland Crunch YouTube and Major League Indoor Soccer Pro channel on YouTube, which is gaining huge traction. All the games, every game is on there, whether it's home or away, every game is on there. But LPV and Rock Sports, they will be taking the broadcast, the home games, to Rock Sports Entertainment. We couldn't be more excited about that.
That is fantastic. All of this additional exposure is just what the doctor ordered. To have access to these things. I know I watched the finals. I'm far away. I'm in Richmond, Virginia. I was watching the finals very excitedly, and unfortunately didn't come up with a win there, but that's okay. We are on to this season. So Gary, unless you've got anything else, I think this is a great time to close it out. Ryan, again, thank you so much for being on with us here on the Let's Go Crunch podcast here on 95.9 WOVU. We really appreciate your time today and are looking forward to this upcoming season and all of the different things and happenings that are going to be coming up here throughout the course of the season. So again, Ryan, thank you for joining us. And again, single game tickets are on sale now. Go to www.theclevelandcrunch.com/tickets. So
yeah, and I appreciate you guys very much, and we appreciate WOVU and Darville and his whole crew. One more thing, though, you bring up a great point. You being in Richmond, West Virginia, is that what you said?
Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia. Let's say you're not, and you can't watch the games, and you just want to listen, because there's a lot of old school listeners. If you go on WOBLradio.com, all of our home games will be on there if you just want to listen. And for our Lorain County listeners, that's 107.7 FM and 1320 AM. Lorain County Country Radio, but WOBL. And, we appreciate our partnership with them. They've been with us for 3 seasons. And just like you said, Ethan, it is all about exposure. The more we can get our brand out there to people, that's why we're so grateful for WOVU. We're so grateful for the Let's Go Crunch podcast with the Bearded Browns podcast. So it's, we were just on Fox 8 with New Day Cleveland. So it's just all that exposure. The more the merrier, in our opinion, and we like to form partnerships. So I didn't mean to add that at the end, but that's something that's very important. The fact that you can listen to the home games as well.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Ryan. Well, have yourself a wonderful rest of your day. We appreciate you.
Have fun at the Nutcracker.
Yeah. Taking the family to the Nutcracker and Akron today. And I got to get this in too.
IO.
So Kevin Arnold was doing the pregame show. He was doing the pregame show yesterday. And I sent him a text. I said, "Hey, Kev, listening to you right now. I just wanted to let you know the Cleveland Crunch predict 30 to 13 Bucks. And sure enough, at the end, Kevin Arnold is talking about the predictions through X, and he read our text. He's like, and our professional indoor soccer team in Cleveland, the Cleveland Crunch, predict a 30 to 13 win. We weren't very far off, but we were right there. So
it was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So that is going to close us out here today. Want to thank Ryan Ruiz, co-owner, director of sales, Cleveland Crunch, for joining us here today. And for Gary Fair, I am Ethan Greenberg, and you have been tuned in to the Let's Go Crunch podcast here on 95.9 WOVU.
Appreciate you guys. Let's go Crunch.
Let's go Crunch.
Let's go Crunch.